Hello! So, over the years, I've kind of noticed that sometimes Hasbro sculptors are very artist-specific with some of their figures. Like, sometimes it's just the general drawn look of how a specific artist draws a certain character, or sometimes it looks like they straight up just took a panel and went with it. I've had it as a little side project to find Marvel Legends head sculpts that have artist-specific sculpts and to track down whose art they're based on. I'm not too knowledgeable in general about artists, but I hope I get most of them right. Also, these are strictly for comic versions, as movie and show versions would be too obvious. Also, it's only Hasbro figures. If I included Toy Biz figures, I'd be here all day since I feel like Toy Biz did artist-specific sculpts more than not. To clarify again, these are only figures who I can draw a pretty strong connection to a specific artist, not general looks from a story, which makes up most of the Legend sculpts in general. Like, I won't include like Age of Apocalypse Wolverine just because he has like a generalization of that hairstyle he has in the comic. So yeah, so starting off, here's Beast, and this is very obviously Jim Lee's artwork. This is from the famous cover from X-Men #1, and then when they made a closed head sculpt, this is just spot on. It's an absolutely gorgeous sculpt. But I kinda want Beast with pupils, but that's just me. Nevertheless, this is one of the most clear ones, and I'm just kind of warning you, there's gonna be a lot of Jim Lee here, because Hasbro loves Jim Lee, and so do we. So next up is another Jim Lee figure. This is Bishop. Again, very 90s, very Jim Lee. It kinda looks exactly like this panel here. See like little hair, and just like the wavy hair and the grimace, and how the eyes are like slightly closed up because he's like screaming or something. But yeah, I am 99% sure this is just Jim Lee. So, another 90s character. So this is Boom Boom, and so I'm pretty sure this head sculpt here is just straight up based on Rob Liefeld's art, and what gives it away is the hair. Because usually, I feel like this hair looks a little too specific to be a generalization of her hairstyle. They really went to town with like the waves in her hair and made sure the little strand is here. They missed the mark on the jacket and everything, but then again it was probably budgetary reasons for kind of minor character. Boom Boom isn't that popular. I would like a modern Boom Boom though. So next up, another Liefeld character. So yeah, Cable. This might as well just be this panel turned 3D. It pretty much looks identical. He has the same little tufts of hair going down, the glowy eye, the same grimace, everything. So this one is from the Marvel Legends Anniversary set, and they made it pretty clear already that these are Alex Ross head sculpts. They come with like comic versions of the heads, but the alternate heads are always the Alex Ross versions. So what gives it away, for some reason I cannot zoom, but there are little stitches going up here on the A, just like here so. And the overall kind of more realistic face features, he doesn't really look all that comic booky, if that makes sense. He also has these little seams here that goes here. So yeah, so this Cyclops here, this could be like a general 90s Cyclops, but I feel like Jim Lee kind of invented the whole thing where he doesn't have the like head condom, and they made his fringe go down here. I feel like this is trying very hard to emulate Jim Lee. He maybe doesn't belong on this list, but I feel like it's close enough that it can't really be anyone else. So this is a head sculpt I actually quite like. So when this figure was released, a lot of people didn't like the head sculpt for Emma, but it's pretty clearly John Cassaday's art from Astonishing X-Men, and I think they pretty much nailed it. Maybe she doesn't look quite as hot as you generally think when you think of Emma Frost, but the expression is just kind of dead on. And I did do a repaint that kind of helped it a little bit, but in general, I think this head sculpt is just perfect for Emma. So this one is, I don't actually know how to pronounce this guy's name, but Giuseppe Camuncoli. And you can kind of tell from the eyes, but when this guy smiles as well, you can see like his exaggerated cartoony teeth and such. But this is from when Spider-Man returns after the whole Superior Spider-Man storyline, and it's a pretty good interpretation of his artwork. The colors are completely wrong, and the eyes aren't painted that well, but overall I think it emulates his work quite well. I do find it a little bit weird that this is Hasbro's first Green Goblin, I think, and it's kind of weird that they decided to give us a very artist-specific Green Goblin before like a classic version. So speaking of classic Green Goblin, so this figure was originally released as part of the retro wave with like the animated series background and stuff, but this is clearly not an animated series Green Goblin. This is clearly an Alex Ross Green Goblin. You can tell from like the very Joker-ish head shape and just like the wrinkles line up and the length of the ears. The eyes always looked really, really stupid to me, very dilated, and I think they might have been attempting to do like a kind of like goggles thing, but they just failed miserably. So yeah, but the overall sculpt, especially if you repaint it like I did, is fantastic, and it looks just like Alex Ross's artwork. So, this is a Humberto Ramos Hobgoblin. I don't really know much about this design, but it is spot on. Like, it's very stylized, very cartoony, and this figure just nails it. I wish he had a little bit more shading here, but then again, it's just Hasbro paint jobs, so what can you do? So originally I thought this was like a kind of Sal Buscema inspired Hulk, but after some more research I kind of realized I'm pretty sure this is based on Bob Larkins's work. It's very similar to the Face-Off Hulk, just with a more modern type of style for the sculpting. I kind of do think the old Face-Off Hulk looks better though. Like, that figure is just beautiful. I wish I had it. At least the head sculpt. So here's a weird one. This is Hydro Man, and I always thought there was something off about this figure in general because his eyes are so far apart and his mouth is so wide. But then I found this random picture. I could not track down who drew him, but you see how long his mouth is? His eyes are really far apart, and then there's even this little wisp of hair just like going out to the side, and the parting here in the hair just matches perfectly. This has to be inspired by this artwork. Moving on to this really, really ugly Invisible Woman Sue Storm head, and the thing is, this head sculpt is actually really good, it's just horrifically painted. This is artwork by Adam Hughes, who you will see a little bit later on in this video again, and he has an absolutely beautiful style, which I'm a huge fan of, and you can tell they very much tried to emulate it, but like I said, I'm pretty sure the sculpt is really good, but the face paint is just not there. But you can tell it's like based on this with a open mouth and the hair and everything. So again, we're going with Alex Ross here, kind of cheating, but again, this is from the anniversary set. You can see the little details here inside the helmet and his eyes coming through here, and the overall like nose and cheekbones that Iron Man doesn't usually have. So yeah, this is definitely Alex Ross again. So here's Kitty, and I'm fairly sure this head is based on this art here. There were two names of the artists for some reason. I don't really know how that works, but Stuart Immonen and Wade von Grawbadge. And I like this head. I think it's a little bit too round, but overall I think it's pretty accurate. An updated Kitty is one of my biggest ones though. I would love a modern Kitty Pride. So this is kinda cheating because Null hasn't been around for long, but this is very clearly just Ryan Stegman's art, who is the original artist for Null. Like I said, it's kind of cheating because not too many artists have done Null, but it just narrows it down, and you know, like, look, this face is just spot on to this. So Lizard, this is the retro Lizard with the original head, which is kind of like a classic Lizard, and this is very much a John Romita Sr. head sculpt. I tried looking up a Steve Ditko head, but Steve Ditko didn't really draw him with like a lizard snout. Steve Ditko's Lizard had a lot more of like a humanoid head with scales and stuff, so I'm pretty sure this is John Romita Sr. I don't know where the modern head sculpt is from though, so if you know, hit me up. So again, we have Jim Lee. I feel like this Family Matters 3-pack just tried to emulate the cover of X-Men 1 again, with the gritted teeth and the whited out eyes. They kind of missed the mark a little bit because his eyebrows aren't showing and the teeth look a little bit weird, but I'm pretty sure this is just supposed to be Jim Lee's Magneto. So Man-Thing, and you may think that, oh, it's just Man-Thing, he always looks like that. No, he doesn't actually look like that, because you see all these like little viney details. Kev Walker in the Thunderbolts run with Luke Cage as the leader is the only one, as far as I'm aware of, who drew kind of like a bunch of like viney veins like this. And to me, as a Man-Thing aficionado, this is very clearly a Kev Walker Man-Thing. I love this figure so much. This is also repainted, by the way, in case you didn't know, but you know. So Morph. So this is, as far as I can tell, a Mike McCone Morph. And this figure was released in the Age of Apocalypse series, but funnily enough, it's not actually based on Age of Apocalypse Morph. This is very clear to me an Exiles Morph, who is a lot more of a popular character anyway, and a lot more of a prominent character. So yeah, I'm happy they went with this version of the character instead. But as you can see, the art, it's just spot on to this head sculpt. So this is one I found quite recently, and if you're wondering why I named it Natasha Widow instead of Black Widow, it's because I didn't want 3 Jim Lee figures in a row. But this, I just kind of stumbled onto this, and I was kind of amazed how much this hairstyle just looked exactly like how Jim Lee drew it. So I found that out literally today, the 20th of Jan. So yeah, that was a cool little treat. So Nightcrawler, this is Ed McGuinness Nightcrawler, easily. You can tell from the hair. Usually Kurt has more of kind of like wavy hair, a little bit longer, but Ed McGuinness drew him with shorter hair, and it just kind of lines up to this picture extremely well. The only thing is it doesn't have the shading, and his bottom teeth aren't painted, but overall I can't really think of anyone else as artwork this matches as well as this one. So another Jim Lee figure, sorry about this. This is the most Jim Lee head sculpt I've ever seen in my life. This is, I think, from Punisher War Journal, and it ticks every single box with a Jim Lee head sculpt. The super square jaw, the gigantic screaming mouth, and overall the kind of super macho like features on the head. Like, you can cover like the top part of his face and you have Wolverine, you have Batman, you have every other character Jim Lee has ever drawn, and it's a really good face, so you know, what can you do? But yeah, this Punisher, definitely Jim Lee Punisher. So this one is very evidently J. Scott Campbell's Rogue, and I like this head sculpt a whole lot, but I don't think it fits in with a whole lot of Legends because it's so very stylized to be J. Scott Campbell's artwork. The eyes are really big, for instance, and it's one of those cases where I think it's a little bit distracting how artist specific it is. So I could never really bring myself to pick up this figure, but I love that it exists for the people who love his artwork. So this is another one I just kind of ran into. This Ryan Brown Sabretooth just kind of popped up in Google Images one day, and I instantly recognized this face sculpt. This is just the old Marvel Legends Sabretooth head. They even did the whole kind of like white-gray cloudy fur thing here, but I definitely feel like this is a complete match. The eyes are really far apart too, the expression is the same, even though it's a kind of general Sabretooth expression. I don't know, this head just screams this artwork. So another Adam Hughes one. So this is Scarlet Witch, and you can tell this is just a kind of one-for-one translation by Renee Aldrete, who is a fantastic Marvel Legends sculptor. They're some of the best sculptors that Marvel Legends has ever had. And they usually do this really nice wavy hair that translated really well from Adam Hughes' artwork. This is one of my favorite Marvel Legends head sculpts of all time. It's just beautiful. So I'm not really sure about this one, but this very much looks like a very crappy attempt at trying to be this John Buscema She-Hulk #1 cover. And yeah, they failed miserably. We don't really need to talk about it. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be that, but yeah, not good. So, better She-Hulk. This is a John Byrne She-Hulk, like straight up. She has the little piece of hair going down here. Her hair is extremely wavy. It's colored the exact same way. She has John Byrne's trademark She-Hulk smile. It's just a fantastic head sculpt. I would like another one where she's smiling with her mouth closed, but overall, this Gen head is so good. So, I guess this is kind of cheating a little bit because it's too obvious, but I'm pretty sure this is a Steve Ditko Spider-Man here. The eyes are a little bit off, and this emblem here is way too big, but I don't know who else it really should try to emulate, because this is supposed to be like the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, which is his first appearance. It might be a Jack Kirby Spider-Man because he drew the cover, but I still think they were aiming a little bit more for Steve Ditko. So another Spider-Man. This was revealed very, very recently, and this is the Maximum Spider-Man. And yeah, this is McFarlane Spidey. He has the very, very distinct Spider-Man eyes McFarlane drew, and he has so much webbing, and this can't be anyone else. This is just straight up McFarlane. So, kinda cheating again because not too many people has drawn Spinneret, but I'm pretty sure this is just Ryan Stegman Spinneret. I love his artwork and everything just lines up, so I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be that. So another Jim Lee. I am so sorry, but this strong guy here is definitely Jim Lee. Strong guy, like, very often just kind of has this expression, but I feel like this is such a general expression of Jim Lee's strong guy that you can just kind of, yeah, like, look at it. It's perfect. So originally there was a long piece here about me not knowing where this was from, but after some more sleuthing, I'm pretty sure this is a Jim Cheung Thanos. But I finally found the comic where this panel is from, and he's credited, so I'm pretty sure it's his work. And, I mean, if it is him, it looks pretty spot on to the Walmart exclusive Thanos. So, the final one of the Alex Ross Trio Anniversary Avengers figures. So, this is, once again, based on Alex Ross's artwork. I'm pretty sure this is the same guy he usually has modeled for Superman, because it looks very much like his, like, Kingdom Come Superman and stuff. But, yeah, it's a pretty good likeness. The paint lets it down a little bit. These eyebrows are really, really thick. But overall, I think it looks like Alex Ross Thor. So I could find absolutely zero information about this, but I'm pretty sure this Toad, someone, the sculptor just kind of threw in Toad Marvel in Google Images, and they saw this picture and went, yeah, this looks like Toad, and then they sculpted it after that, because the hair, like the parting here, just lines up, the tongue, like the expression, the hair going down here, it just kind of lines up perfectly. So pretty sure this is inspired by this. This is kind of cheating again, because I'm pretty sure it's just labeled as Ultimate Spider-Man, but I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be an Ultimate Spider-Man by Mark Bagley, and it kind of fails because these things are supposed to be thicker, but yeah, yeah, they tried. So, this is Mark Bagley Venom, and it looks kinda close to Todd McFarlane Venom, but what gives it away really that it's Mark Bagley are these really, really sharp teeth. And they did a pretty good job in general with it. I feel like the eyes could be a little bit more detailed, kind of like here, and I want like a white thing to go up here a little bit more. But overall, it's a pretty good likeness to Mark Bagley Venom, and I'm pretty sure, because Mark Bagley's Venom is a fan favorite, that they tried to emulate him here. Speaking of McFarlane, by the way, here is the actual Todd McFarlane Venom, and you can tell it's just like the eye shape spot on, and the teeth here are kind of like how McFarlane toys back in the day used to do, like sharp teeth. If you look at their original clown figure, his teeth are exactly done like this, so I thought that was a cute little nod. So, Wolverine. This Logan head is, again, like Emma Frost, John Cassaday's artwork. I'm sorry about, like, the cutoff here, but this is actually what the panel looks like. Yeah, this is John Cassaday's Wolverine. He's even got, like, a little piece of hair going here. So, yeah, pretty good. And that is the final figure I had to show. So, in case you know of any other ones, hit me up, because I would love to see more that are, like, very blatantly artist-inspired. I think it's actually really cool when they pull inspiration from a specific artist. As long as they're not too stylized, I think it's a great idea, especially if it's, like, a fan-favorite version of a character like Mark Bagley Venom, for instance, or Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. So, yeah, a different little video, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. So thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed.